How many kids do you have?
14.
14? Oh my goodness, that's awesome. What's the age gap between the oldest and the youngest?
About 20 years.
Do you regret not having more, or do you think 14 was your perfect number?
More is better.
More is better.
But you reach a point where you just, can't spread yourself any thinner and you're getting old. But if we could have had more, sure.
Okay, since you had 14, you must have some pretty stellar parenting advice.
Yeah, leave your kids alone. Get off their back. Look, if you're living a worthy life and they're growing up in that life, you got little to worry about. If your life is not something they would want for themselves, well, then you got a big job ahead of you. Because now you've created a life for yourself, but you also have to create a life for each of your children who don't want the life you have. Wow, that's way too difficult. You live a life where your children can't wait to step into your shoes. That's a healthy family. But children who say, "Oh, never want to be a father," or "I would never want to be a mother," that's not good. In a healthy family, the little girl can't wait to be a mommy. So you don't really have to push them around and beat them into shape, and they're following right behind you. Just lead. Show them a life worth living, and they'll live it.
I anytime I talk to someone with a lot of kids, I'm always so fascinated because sometimes I'm thinking to myself, "How did you make that work?" But I guess you just make it work somehow? Like, how'd you make 14 kids work? And, I mean, I imagine you guys had to buy a or have a pretty decent sized home, or I imagine at least, I don't know, all the kids shared a room with each other to some degree. But how did you and your wife make that work as, the kids were growing up?
We lived, and they lived with us. I mean, of course, you have little crises that you have to handle, but life works. You don't have to reinvent the wheel with each kid. There are a lot of people who say, "I hesitate having children because they're gonna start asking me questions, and I don't know what to tell them." You don't know what to tell what do you tell yourself? They're gonna ask, "What is life all about?" And I don't know what to say. Then how are you living your life? The problem is not the kids. The same answers you need to give your kids, you need to give yourself first. So if your children ask you, "What is the meaning of life?" and you don't know the answer, what does that say about your life?
Did your kids ask you that question when they were growing up?
Did I
Did your kids ask you the question of what's the meaning of life when they were kids?
Yeah. I mean, they don't put it in such philosophical terms. They say, "Why do I have to? Why is it like that?" What they mean is, why anything? And it's a very good question. And if all you have to offer is, just do it, 'cause I'm telling you, that's not gonna work.